Morning everyone, welcome back to the channel and a new video on the Volkswagen Crafter. Today we are going to be attacking the inside of it. You all know how bad it is and I can't wait to crack on and see what sort of condition we can get this van back into. So let's stop talking about it and actually crack straight on, because this is going to be a long day. One thing I have noticed when we wait for that light to go out when we're sitting in the van, when we open the door very briefly, the mileage does come up. So it's going to be pretty fast, but I'm going to get Chris to open the door and see if you can capture it. Go on, mate. 137,189.
Yeah.
So
about what they said.
I've been looking on the forums and some people have been telling me what they think this might be. And to be honest, for some reason, judging by the state of the van, I'm going to get onto that in a minute, but one thing leads to another with this one. Judging by the state of it, I would say something's been spilt on there or something along them lines. But I've read online that this is synced to the ignition as well, and they've gone out of sync because the mileage is still coming up. So what we need to do is get that calibrated, and I'm sure that that will come up. But that has made me happy. I've been through the MOT history as well, and it had done 80 something and then it said 14, but it's actually 114. They've missed a 1 off of it. So that mileage does ring about right, and we're quite happy about that. Another thing I've noticed, there's obviously a few pranks been going on in here. If you can see that white powder all over the windscreen, and it is actually all over this window as well. And then when you look in the heat events, someone's actually filled it up with talcum powder or something like that. Turn the heaters on so that when the ignition gets turned on, the driver gets covered in talcum powder. But we are going to start the process of giving the van a clean today. We're actually going to try and get it all done, but we're going to start by getting these front seats out. Guys, I do want to do a little bit of a, well, I suppose you'd call it a disclaimer. I don't want to do time lapse, we really don't. But you imagine us filming all of this so that you could see it all happening live. You'd be watching an 8-hour video, and it's just far too long. So we are going to crack on, and we're going to try and capture as much as we can live. Maybe we'll start by cleaning half the dash and leaving the other half to do a comparison, or we'll clean one door panel. You can see I've been doing a little tester, and we'll move on to the other door panel and we'll just compare them. But let's crack on and get as much of it done as we can. We're about an hour in so far. Got all the mats out my side. I took the driver's seat out, left the belt on, because otherwise you've got to remove all that side panel, remove all the handles, and that's good enough standing there. Let's just move back a little bit. That's perfect there to clean it. It's going to run downhill. I've got to remove the step this side. You would have seen I've just whipped off, grabbed me and Chris a coffee actually while he's been carrying on. You would have seen there on the time lapse. Now let's just move around to the other side. Those back crew seats, Chris has had to take them all out individually, unbolt them, because he went to undo the brackets and he said the bolts are actually underneath, and when he went underneath, the diesel tank's actually in the way. So we're going to have to work around these, but it's not really a problem. He's been cracking on. He's removed all the seats, got all the rubbish out from underneath them, all the mats are out, and he's even removed that door panel, and he's got all of his stuff laying there. So we'll be laying that all out shortly. Around the other side, you've got the base of the seat there, the pillar cover. But to be fair, it really hasn't taken that long. I know we've still got the worst to come, the whole clean-up process, but it was a lot easier quickly whipping that interior out rather than trying to work around it, because that would have been pretty hard to get things up nice and clean. Really, we want, when you open the door, the eye's view, so that bit there, we want that looking really, really nice. The dashboard, all of that sort of stuff, it's just got to look right. It's done 137,000 miles. It is a nice van, and we want to make it look nice. Chris just said to me when I got back with the coffees, I've got a bit of a plan with this here, Rob. We can work around them. What I'm going to do is we'll spray it all up, we'll hoover it all out, and then he's going to jack up the driver's side of the van so it's tilted right up, so that all the water that goes in there with the jet wash is all going to run straight out the door. I just thought I'd do this bit of an update. Like I said, we want to do as less time lapse as possible. Let's carry on. It's a lot of work, guys, but I'm sure that we're doing it round the right way, the way that we have stripped as much out as we can. And you would have seen me going around with a screwdriver, going in all the little cracks and a scraper, just getting the worst of it out. Chris took out the glove box, took both door panels off, he's taken out all the headrests, everything around it, just took it all out of the way, just got it out of the way. It's going to make life so much easier. I've got a little bit of hoovering left to do here because Chris did decide he's going to take that seat out because he wanted to get the A-pillar cover off. But I will walk around the other side in a moment and show you. We have just rung up and ordered some more chemical, so that will be here this afternoon because we're not going to have enough to get all of this done. But we went quite far with it, and let us know in the comment section, do you think this was the right way round to do it? Because we just thought you're not going to be able to get to anything with all the seats in the way and all the other bits and pieces. Chris had a bit of a plan with the door panels. He's put one over there on the back of the trailer, and we've got one here. So rather than showing on camera us cleaning both door panels and going around cleaning all the seats, we're going to clean one and do a comparison, and we'll probably do similar with the seats. The time lapse, I did say there was going to be quite a lot, and we have kept it to a minimum as much as we can. So again, we just had a bit of a chat about it, and what I decided to do was, if there is too much time lapse, if I think there is when I'm piecing this video together, what I'm actually going to do, guys, is I'm actually going to put it all right on the end of the video after I shut it down. So that is going to be there if there's some extra available, and if you do want to watch it, you know it's going to be on the end there. For instance, like we're going to be doing inside this cab in a minute, I'm going to time lapse the whole lot. We've got the charger plugged in so it can't go dead, and we're just going to record the whole process. And possibly that might be on the end of the video. We may be able to stick it in if it's not very long, but we're going to crack on now and try and get the worst of this done. Right, obviously I've said we've got the whole thing on time lapse, but I did just want to do a bit of a demo so that you can see how it is working. I'm going to spray a bit of this on. The longer you leave it on, the better it works, but you can see how bad that is. A lot of you was worried, but you can see the colour it's coming off already. It's already started to work. We have got a bucket of clean water here, so I'm just going to keep washing out this microfiber rag. But it's going to be a lot of elbow grease, I know that, and it might need doing a couple of times, but look at that already. I'll say, if I'd left that on there a little bit longer, all of those black marks would come out. But look at the difference in that already. It just makes so much difference, doesn't it? Let's stay there for a sec, Chris. Let's just do a bit of that down there.
Sure, one of them sponges.
Yeah, I'm going to actually use normal sponge with a rough edge. Let's see if them little... Yeah, they're all come off. All of that will come off. But let's have a go at this bit. It looks the worst. It's obviously the boots it this all the time, don't they? Gonna have to use a bit of tar remover on there. Guys, a lot of you was taking a guess last night. Tarmaker's van. and that they do a bit of tarmacking. It's basically road work, so yeah, you're definitely all barking up the right tree. Let's give that a little wipe off with a rag. Again, this is not us going flat out on it, this is just a bit of a demo. I mean, look at that compared to that already. It just makes so much difference. We're going to crack on and get all of this up here, A post done, get on with the dashboard, and we'll cut back in. There you go, guys. In answer to all the questions, Rob, you're going to need more G101. We have had to call the reinforcements. AutoSmart has just arrived. I did want to mention, guys, we are not sponsored by AutoSmart. I just like the product and I use it all the time. And as usual, I will put the link in the description. We pay the same price as everybody else. I can see he's got my big drum of G101 there, and that should just about clean up that van. Cut in, guys. It's getting really late now, it's nearly 6 o'clock, and Chris is just finishing off that last seat box for the driver's seat. But we have been in here all day getting all this out. The door wouldn't stay shut, the latch wouldn't work. This whole section here was full to the brim and chock-a-block with all sorts of debris, and that's why the door wouldn't stay back. But I'm just going to step up in here. We've scrubbed this floor. That's the best we can get it up. But guys, check that out. That looks like a completely different van. When AutoSmart turned up, we bought some tile remover off of him as well, and it turns out to be very, very good stuff. In a piece of the time lapse, you'll see Chris sprayed it up here, up the back, and if you watch that particular piece of time lapse, you can actually see the whole floor turn like a yellowy colour, where it just broke it up and it just melted down, and I straight away wiped it away and it come up lovely. We actually believe that this was the most difficult bit, getting everything nice. If you look all around the outside to the doors, we have done all of it. They was terrible. All the steps inside, we've cleared all those out. I'm going to move round to the other side. There's both of those seat boxes there, and they've come up lovely compared to what they was. But again, just look at that door, just completely different. All of them bits that was up inside here and all over the door, they're gone, they're disappeared. The dashboard all come up really nice, but took a long time. Just persistence with the airline and a brush and keep getting in there. But underneath here, it's like a new van. Everything's all been cleaned. I've blown out all these fuses, and you can see I've just been round and WD-40'd them, and I will blow them all out again before we start the process of fitting it all back together. All those uprights there for the seats have been cleaned. Just couldn't be happier. It's just come up so lovely, and that is so presentable if we can get the rest of it up like it. We've now got to move on to the interior side of the van, which is all of that stuff, and there is a lot of it. But we're convinced that this is not going to be as much work as what doing all of that was, because that was ultimately the difficult part. With this, you can concentrate on just doing that one seat, put it out to dry, move on to the next one, and so on. So, like I said, it's got a bit late now, so we'll be back in the morning. Morning, everybody. It is the next day, and due to the weather outside today, we are residing in the spray booth. We've got a drain in the corner of the spray booth, and the floor runs straight down to it, which is lucky, so we can actually carry on and do all of the pieces inside. There's a couple of bits in soak there, speaker cover and a couple of little kick plates, but we thought that we'd do a bit of a demo on cleaning up one of these door panels. I haven't actually got the name of that, Chris. Don't matter, it's alright, I can mention it later. Well, Chris has just run off. Why AutoSmart was here, I mentioned earlier on in the video, we actually did purchase some tile remover, and I'm going to put a link for that in the description. but it's Power HD heavy duty tire remover, and you would have seen us using that, and it's a bit of a orangey colour and it smells lovely, doesn't it? But we're going to do a bit of a demo on one of these door panels. We'll probably do the one on the left, Chris, yeah. I'll basically just place both of these here so that you can see they're both pretty much in the same sort of condition. Now we're going to spray it up, leave it to soak. I'll probably cut out while that's here. Yeah, you can crack on, mate. I'll probably cut out once that starts to soak in, and then cut straight back in once we're ready to wash it off. Just through cleaning some of the other bits. We probably will do this a couple of times, won't we? But we'll move this one out of the way, we'll let that soak in, and then we'll do that live on camera. That stuff really, really does work a lot better than the G101 on the tire. We've got quite a lot of stuff to do. The bottom of the door panels there, we've got those B pillar covers that I called A pillar covers earlier on in the video. And just to let you know, guys, we have removed all the switches and stuff. We're not going to be getting them wet. There may be a little bit of flickering, guys, because we have got LED lights and we have turned the extraction on. But we're going to kind of pick on this area because this is ultimately the bit where people are putting their arms all the time. So that's had a 10-minute soak there on that time lapse, and Chris is ready. I mean, look how good that stuff is. I can't wait till that's complete and we compare it to the other one. That sure is a good bit of stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, good gear.
If I get you to stop there, Chris, just for a sec. These thick bits here, they're actual tar, aren't they?
Yeah.
Can you just rub that with your finger just to show what that's done, broke it down? It's an incredible bit of stuff, isn't it? Continue on with that little bit, mate, and then we'll finish it off camera, and then cut back in once it's completely done and compare it to the other one. But we'll definitely won't mind buying another one that's this dirty when it turns out to be. I mean, it's fairly easy with this stuff, but that was a 10-minute wait time, wasn't it? You have to spray it on, leave it 10 minutes, and then come back and actually wipe it off. So you can pretty much see how it is. I'll just quickly wipe that off with a bit of cloth. I'll let Chris wipe that off and just show you. Yeah, I mean, it's...
We'll probably go again there.
Yeah, we'll probably go again, but as you can see, compared to that there, it looks as good as new. We'll crack on and get that whole door panel done, and we'll cut back in. Wanted a time lapse that just so that you could see that we didn't just whip down the main dealer and buy a new door panel for it. I can't believe how it's come up. It really does look the part, and obviously it's got some wear marks in it, but it's not a new van. And Chris, you've made such a nice job on that. I think I'm going to let you do the other one, mate.
Oh, thanks, Rob. Cheers.
Look at the difference, guys. You know, a bit of that tire remover on there. We then took it outside, as you would have seen. Chris gave it a quick wash off with some water, and then we've done the G101 on it just to get rid of any residue, and then rinsed it off again. But if you look inside there, he even did inside the door pocket. It was pretty mucky in there, as you can see by that one that's not been touched. But what a huge difference. It's just going to look lovely inside that van, I think, once we put it back together. And I've made a start on one of the floor mats. I've already cleaned that once, believe it or not, and yeah, it still looks like that. So I'm going to chuck a pair of gloves on and carry on attacking that, and Chris can have a go at the other door panel. Two cups of coffee, two nice clean door cards. That's what you call teamwork. Guys, we are going to crack on now off camera because obviously we have got a lot to be getting on with. So we're going to get the majority of this stuff done, and then obviously I'll come straight back with an update. But there's no need for me to time lapse this. I'm just going to explain now. We're going to crack on and get all of these other bits completely clean, and then we'll do a little talk about them and a look at them once they're done. So there we have it. I've stood as far back as I can so you can just see the magnitude of what we have done, and it is, there's no getting out of it. It was a serious amount of work. Thankfully that other product really did help us out, and I actually believe that probably cut our job by 50%. That's probably cut our job in half, because we were spraying G101 on. Yeah, it was getting the dirt off, but it wasn't really touching the tar. And as soon as we sprayed it on, you could see it running away. So it's really helped. I suppose the hardest parts were those door panels were terrible. Chris did both of those. The steps, we did one each. I mean, you can probably still see some discolouring in those steps, but you got to remember they've been getting in and out since that van was new, with work boots on. And this step here, which is actually the runner the other side, was chock-a-block the other side with mud and grime and bits of bitumen and tarmac. And the top of it, we sprayed that stuff on it, walked away, left it for an hour, had lunch, half an hour, rinsed it off, and the majority of it come off. Chris then got in all the little grooves and give it a good clean up. Got the battery cover there, the undercowling that goes under the steering column, the B-pillar covers, it's all come up really nice. And to be honest, me and Chris was just saying as we was laying it all out, we did not expect it to come up like that. I possibly really should have took a picture. I've got some pictures, but should have took some pictures of the before, like that glove box. Look at it. We never thought that was going to come back up like that, and it really has turned out to be okay. So just a brief description of what's there. You can see you got the kick plates, the doorstep, the two doorsteps there, fuse box cover, just all dash trims, speaker covers for the dashboard. We're happy with how all that's come out. Sorry, the sun visors are over there as well. I can see one. The other one I think may still be in soak, but yeah, you wouldn't believe that lot come out of that same van, would you? Just those couple of little bits left soaking in the spray booth, and as soon as they're done, we'll crack on and put all of this back together in the van. I didn't expect to actually be doing this bit right now. Sorry, I'm just trying to get comfortable. I've had to prop the camera up against a cup because unfortunately the tripod is still cable tied inside the van. Guys, due to the atrocious weather out there, we can't crack on, and the video, I know, is quite a nice long one, which you all like, and I really do hope that you enjoy it. It is going to be a 25-minute, half an hour video by the time this is finished. But that just means that there's going to be a part 2 to it, which I know everybody wants to see a few videos on that, and I know a lot of you had good ideas in the comment section in the last video on it about doing certain bits to it, but like as always, we've made no plans for it as of yet. We just need to concentrate on getting it clean, and I think we've achieved quite a lot there, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the completed vehicle does look like in the end. As usual, let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Follow us on Instagram, where we put little sneak peeks throughout the day to let you know what it is we are up to. Like, subscribe and share. Thank you all again, and we'll see you very soon in the next one.